Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 222 of Moogle Garden Radio. We are back. I think we took a break. I can't remember, but we're back. Well, we're back.
This is
We're back.
scheduled. This is scheduled viewing.
Fair.
Can't believe
How you
it's
been?
I've been good. I've been dying from illness and toothache. Currently on some drugs. It's going down a little bit, so it's tiring. I don't like toothpaste.
See, I'm
I've been doing alright.
I'm very lucky where the fact that I was ill last week, but I know when I'm going to be ill because my body is weird because the day before I'm going to get ill or the morning I get ill, my hands go cold. So I know when I'm going to be ill because my hands are a weird thing. And then I get very ill very fast, but I get ill, I get really sick right away. But I'm lucky that it doesn't last long normally. Normally 24 to 48 hours where I get every symptom at once. I don't know if it's good or bad that happens, but yeah, it's yay, I'm sick. I'm going to be in hell for 2 days, maybe 3 a push, but then I'm okay. But it's like a week's worth of being ill in the space of 24 hours. I don't like it. So yeah, but yeah, good to see you getting better though. And I hope the toothache gets sorted soon because toothache can be a pain. Literally.
I've had a lot of fun in Final Fantasy recently. Not actually doing content, but doing PP. So I don't know if anyone knows, but Gibson has started a PvP league. I think it's about 40. So there's about 18. And so I'm trying to grab a tissue because my nose is running. There is basically a PvP league where there's a bunch of teams. I think there's about 8 teams and a bunch of coaches. So I'm actually getting coached by one of the finalists that went to the FanFest in the PvP championship. Tiny Sausage, shout out to Tiny Sausage. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm learning so much in PvP. It is absolutely amazing. I've actually got some scrims after the podcast, so it's been a very late night because obviously it's in NA, so it's 2 a.m. doing scrims. But this Sunday the clocks do go back, so it'll be 1 a.m. So I'm yay, an hour before. But
is that in the UK or the States as well? Because I feel
like
I only
okay.
I was gonna say I feel like hello. I feel like I only ever find out about clocks changing in the US on podcasts. It is incredibly funny that I'm only finding out about this now, rather than anywhere else, despite the fact that, I live in a country that has to deal with that.
Well, we changed slightly. What I like is the fact that I think it's which gives us a nice window where all American stuff becomes slightly earlier until you change.
We need to do away with the system entirely. It's
I like
outdated.
This. Please, no, keep it. I like that 1 hour window twice a year where we can have a little bit earlier.
No, here's the thing: is freeze it there, freeze it during that 1 hour window, because that's just better for everyone. My family is European, so I would also benefit from having a little bit of a leeway when it came to that time change. I would love that as well. The constant moving back and forth. It's not changing the sun. We don't have that power. We're sophisticated enough as a society now to not have to think about when this is down. It's just later in the summer. I think that's right. I don't go outside nearly enough is what I'm learning.
As an outside?
What's this outside? Look, we're getting to the point where it rains a lot, so I'm good staying indoors.
God, but I love the rain.
Yeah, the only time I go outside is to prime. So that is all I do.
You know what? I understand that so deeply because I go outside to sand and paint props for cosplay because that's a health hazard.
Yes, it is.
Sure is.
Doing a health hazard when you're outside, so always wear PPE. And if you don't know what PPE means, it's personal protective equipment. Because I'm actually an engineer qualified.
This is cosplay safety with Paul and M.
Hobby safety. There we go. Hobby safety.
There you go. There you go.
Actually, think about that. I need to order some new masks. Actually, put that on the list. But other than that, today we are talking about Final Fantasy 11 and the 14 collaboration with the 24-man raid.
We do have a few bits of news to talk about before that, though, because there was some.
Who cares about?
But we kind of do.
No, we
before
don't.
we move on to that, though, I also want to ask what they've been up to, and I've heard they were hosting at the GATEwayFATE.
Oh, yeah. Gateway Fate was last weekend. I actually got back only a few days ago. I drove all the way up. It's a 10-hour drive from Atlanta. So a bit of a trek. Definitely worth it. Always worth it. But Gateway Fate is an unofficial Final Fantasy 14 convention in the States. It happens just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. We had such a grand old time. I had 3 panels this year. I talked a little bit about Final Fantasy 11. I talked about managing the world race with, of course, Frosty and Brooke. And then Fruity and I did the latest iteration of our Weird Fish Lure panel. Fruity being Fruity Snacks. You may know him as the Fish Guy. He also has a degree in astrophysics, and we love talking about science. This has led to many 2 a.m. conversations about weird game lore, which I absolutely adore. But yeah, we had a grand old time. I debuted my second Final Fantasy XI cosplay and my, I want to say 30-second Asian adjacent cosplay. The number is up there. But yeah, we had a wonderful time. It's such a good convention. I love going. If anyone is considering adding it to your lineup, please do. I literally cannot recommend it enough. But it is also why my voice is gone. I am doing my best to project. The wine is helping a little bit.
Alcohols.
Well, thank you for
Helps the
joining
world
us, and
go.
I would like to do it someday because it does look like fun and it does sound like fun. And from what I
You
can tell,
would
the convention is right next to the airport, which is nice.
Yeah, it's literally like 15 minutes away from the international airport in St. Louis, which is incredible. You also would not be the only UK come to this convention specific. There were some folks who came last year that I was so thrilled to again. One of them, oh, I'm gonna get it wrong. They're from the UK, but they're an absolute delight. They stopped me to talk about FF11 every chance they got. And genuinely seeing them made my weekend. I was so excited to see not just familiar faces in the crowd, but also like, hey, let's talk about the Alliance raids. And I'm like, ooh, yes, my favorite thing. Let's do more of that.
I will never forget. I think it was 2016 FanFest Vegas. I think it was the 2016 one when I was there and like I had only known because we're big friends with the MMO Respect Girls. At the time they were called Motion Radio. And I'll never forget, I was in queue talking with some random that were just there. And then I just saw someone run up to me and jump me. And I was incredibly confused because at the time I didn't know what they looked like. Like I didn't know what flats looked like or anything like that at the time because they didn't really use cams. They just audio only. And I'm like really confused. And they're like, oh my, and they shouted, oh my God, Chili. I'm like, I knew the voice once they said it and I knew who it was. And they're like, I'm like, how did you know it was me? Because I don't go on cam either. And they're like, you were the only British voice in the crowd.
Oh
like,
God, that's good.
But like, we knew it was you because of your voice. You're the only, like, yeah. I was like, okay,
Well,
hi.
I hope y'all are able to make it for Gateway at some point. Genuinely, there's so much love for this fan run, and it shows. I don't think that I will ever attend or work at a better run event. So I can't recommend it enough. And I am constantly thankful that they keep having me out. This was its second year. Hopefully third next year. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, if I get to go, I'm going to do a panel. I've never done a panel. Well, I've never done a physical panel. I've done a digital panel once, but I've never done an actual panel. So my goal is to try and do a panel.
Yeah, I mean, apply. You never know. Apply for it.
Sounds good. Well, once the applications go live, I can work out where they are. So, but I do.
I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. And I did bring a lot more news about this, but we'll skip a lot of the news because I know we've got a limited amount of time today. So we're going to jump into. I do want to bring up one bit of news though before we move on to any Final Fantasy 11 talk. I hate the fact that I'm saying this. The live letter has been announced, which means that the live letter will be next Friday, the 31st of October at 11 a.m. GMT. Would it still be 11 a.m. for us? Or would it still be 12 for us, or would it be 11? Is it this weekend that we change? Or
I know. It's this weekend. Let me look at my
No,
let me look at my
weekend, right? I thought.
raid team. Let me look at my raid. Wait there.
Just
They're the
said-
ones that posted about it. Let's see. As a reminder, British Time ends this Sunday, this week. Clocks go back an hour. And that is from my raid leader, because we have people from America and Indonesia. So
Because it's always the last Sunday of October, right? So that's how it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My brain. because I know it's like the end of the month normally, so yeah, okay.
And the last turn date is the 26th. So yeah.
So
That
if you're
is-
in the UK,
I don't know why I turned pompous then for a second.
That's 7 a.m. Eastern Time US. That's what I know.
Yeah.
Whatever time that is.
11 a.m. for us, because during summer we become GMT +1 or BST, Beastmaster time. But
That was
but then during wintertime we jump back down to GMT, which is just TC +0. So yeah, so we'll be 11 a.m. Okay, so it'll be 11 a.m. for us. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, 11 a.m. October 31st, Friday. I don't know if we'll be reacting to it. I don't know if Paul will be. I don't know, but we will be talking about it on the next podcast after this one, because obviously we can't talk about it now because it doesn't exist yet. So we'll be talking about it on the next podcast. Anyone excited for 7.m?
why you gotta ask me? I mean, yes. I'm excited for every patch that we get. Again, relatively new player. I'm just constantly ecstatic that I continue to get content. Things to look forward to, though. We will be getting the last Savage tier of the expansion, which I am going to be working the race for again, which, I'm always excited about. I love working on it. There's a lot of Arcadian tie-ins to FF11 as well, so I'm curious to see where they take it. I've got a lot of ideas about where that could be going. Regardless, I'm excited to see where that ends up. It's also the first story patch that we're going to be getting leading into next expansion. We got confirmation of that prior to 7B that this was going to be the wrap-up, and I'd say they did that. So, expect some implications of soul manipulation and where the hell we might be going there. But yeah, I'm stoked. I love every time patch gets announced. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope it's at a reasonable time. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to happen over the holidays this year, which
Wish you a Merry Savagemas. We wish
I'll
you
be
a Merry
around because
Savagemas.
I don't have a life. I'm also not religious, so we celebrate Danish Christmas, and that's one evening on the 12th, and that's it. I don't know who else is going to be around, but I will be. So I'm looking forward to it. Sorry, I realized it was kind of a lot.
No, that's okay. I will also be around. I hope I can get a chance to cast this Savage tier. I enjoyed that. I think I cast part of the world first, and I did the deep dungeon stuff. So I'm hoping I can get a chance to cast with the Savage again. Much love and big shout out to Frosty for everything he does with the casting with that. Like the world first scene it exists because of him. Basically, he carries that on his back, and everyone else involved. But like you, But like, if it wasn't for you, all of you, I don't think that the scene would be as big it is. At least publicly, should we say? I'm not talking
like Frosty loves to say, the world race scene exists regardless of if anyone is broadcasting it or not. The race would still exist. This started as him just, tracking on a spreadsheet in a spare, right? But the production aspect, the charity aspect, that's really why we do it. He totaled the numbers, and we're at a little over $200,000 raised pretty since we started streaming the events, which is insane. It really is the time when the entire FF comes together, Raider or not. So it wouldn't exist without literally everybody who tunes in, donates, helps out, and stuff. It's the best time of year. Honestly, it's what Christmas is to me, truly.
So yeah. Paul, what are you excited for with 7.4?
PvP.
I should have expected that.
I have nothing in my brain than PvP. I'm being completely honest. With the whole event that's happening recently, it's actually the only time I've been actually playing FF other than raiding on the weekend. I know that this raid here was kind of hard. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping the next tier is going to be kind of in the middle because it has taken my raid team a long time just to get through the painting Lalafell. And we recently killed M7S, which was really nice. And we haven't even started on the on MA. I'm hoping, because I know that me and Chili have talked about it, how we think we wanted the alternative version of Xenos to pop up and be
I'm still hoping for that. I don't care if it annoys everyone. I want that to be I want that to be the ending.
Be y'all's favorite person. Have y'all heard the theory that Howling Blade is a shard of? because it has weight.
No.
It's not something that I'll say is canon, but
Well, my
the
view
like
is I'm really
drive for
hoping.
connection, the drive for power, it's there. It's there. We've got it. It's right there.
Well, my theory, and I'm going to stick to what, well, not theory, but my dream and hope is the fact that the owner of the Arcadion. We don't really know who it is, right? My dream and hope is it's a shard of Xenos that hasn't found the Warrior of Light on that shard, and literally is only hosting the Arcadion because he wants everyone to fight their way to the top to see who the strongest on the shard is, so that he can then challenge them. That's the whole. That's all Arcadian's really for. It's just so that he can find whoever the strongest is and fight them.
I like that idea. I don't know if I'm behind it, but I like that idea. Can I segue us into FF11 by talking about Arcadian real quick? Actually,
Yeah, sure. I actually don't know a huge amount about 11 and Arcadian, so I'm interested.
So, well, you know how Blue Mage works in 11, right?
Yeah.
It's
Kind of.
the idea, yeah, so it's kind of the same as it is in FF14, folks who don't have context, where you're taking abilities of the things that you fight and you are able to cast the spells yourself, right? In FF11, though, the concept is that you are grafting a part of that creature onto your soul. And if you do that too much, you lose reason that you are alive and you become a mind flayer. The one time that someone was able to escape this fate was during the Treasures of Adargon expansion, which this is the spoiler warning. This is my single blanket spoiler warning for talking about FF11 right now. You have 5 seconds to catch up on the game and come back to this episode, and your 5 seconds are now over. Is by grafting himself to Alexander, because that's what happened with Rosfod at the end of FF11. So I would love to see somebody attempting to escape corruption and the degradation of their soul in Arcadian bracket, which is basically, again, grafting beast souls in order to get their abilities in a controlled manner into the arena, right? I'd love to see somebody attempting to escape that fate by grafting machinery or trying to approach Alexander's level of that, because he is a stabilizing factor when it comes to souls. And that gets a little bit into physics, which is a whole topic unto itself. But I want to see that out of the upcoming Arcadians here, dealing with the exact same ideas about soul.
So their version of Sid?
No, Rosfod.
Rosfod. Different. No, that Sid is different, right? Sid was. I can't remember.
Sid is unfortunately the teeth guy.
Oh yeah, Sid was the weird-looking guy in 11, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they animated his teeth, and it's awful. It's bad. It is rough. Paul, we gotta get you a video of Sid from FF11. You'll understand. It is rough. That's the only way I have to describe it.
Oh god, yeah, he was from Bastok, right? I'm just remembering, yeah.
Yeah, the metalworks, and they animated. Yeah, you're shuddering. They animated his teeth, and they didn't do it to anybody else, and we don't know why. But he's famous for his teeth, and they shouldn't move like that. They just shouldn't. Whoever made that decision, bad.
I've got animation, but here, Paul, here's a picture of Sid's face.
God. Yeah, so imagine those teeth moving separately from every other bone in that man's body.
Yeah. And he's the only character that does that.
Yep. Nobody else. They only did that to him. They learned. God. That's going to be the final boss of the last Alliance raid. Sid's dentures are going to come out of his mouth, and we're finally going to be able to get rid of him.
You know what? It'd be a good Halloween costume, I guess.
No, don't put that in my head. Don't do this to me. What have I done? Oh,
I'm not hearing it. No.
Please don't. Paul's TV processing right now.
I think Paul is crying.
Anyway,
Paul was doing research. It's fine.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, Paul.
That reminds me of me. I'm not going.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Listen.
I am the IRL Sid.
Well, here's the thing: is your teeth can't be separated from every other your body without breaking you as a person. So you're fine. You're good. You're gold. Don't do this to me right now.
They say that my family's like the Addams family.
Regardless, anyway, that's an intro to Sid. We got so distracted.
We did. We did it. So,
kind of reminds me of me.
Let's move on to one of our main topic really of the evening, which is the Final Fantasy 11 Fantasy 14 raid crossovers. For anyone that doesn't know, Fantasy 11 has content in Fantasy 14 for the Alliance raids. You had the Juno the first walk and Sandoria the second walk. Before we go into more detail about them, do you have a favorite of the two?
Oh, that's such a whoa. Hold on. Wait.
Actually,
That's so tough.
that went in the show
No,
notes of questions to do
And
research on.
the question that it says rough topics, not main topics to talk
I
about.
you're like asking me to choose between 8 of my favorite. Like I truly,
Ooh.
Ooh.
this is so
How could you
difficult.
do that,
I
Jimmy?
mean, I'm biased because I'm a
I
Windows person, so I Juno wins by default for me because it doesn't start in Sandoria.
yeah, I mean, God, that's tough. God, that's tough. Cause
Okay, fine. I'll
I'm
talk
a lore
about my
person.
favorite while you think about it. Juno was probably
Okay.
my favorite of the mainly because I don't know. The Sandoria thing. I got frustrated. As soon as I entered, I got frustrated at the lack of bagpipes. I don't care the fact that Sandoria is like
What
5
it's not
seconds of
for.
content. Yeah,
It's still
I
the fucking region that they're in.
bagpipes. I want them. I
Okay.
wanted HD. Like I don't think you get an orchestration of them. Like I was really excited for that. I'm sorry. That was something like when they showed off the fact that we were going to Sandoria. That was one of the things I was hyped for. Apart from that, I think I preferred the locations more. Witham is nice, but of course had the
Or
Bahoda Tree and the
Scotland!
gardens. So yeah,
Highland
I
comes out.
see. I'm in a difficult position. I am a lore person, so I have like favorite in 11 that I am excited. And I think that the way that they have brought FF11 bosses alliance raids is absolute. I guess I have a favorite fight from each. Is that good enough? Don't make me pick
yeah, that's
between
fine.
the alliance raids, but I can
No.
pick a favorite
long as
fight in each.
As long as it's not Kieran, we're okay because that fight made me
No,
sad.
I'm good. I wish they'd done more with that one. In the first one, I love the archangels. Predictably, of course, but I loved that it wasn't just an ad pack, and I loved that you got to fight all 5 at once. That was like my big wish for the Alliance raids because they are so iconic. That and getting their so I was thrilled about that. I also loved how they did the Shadow Lord fight for as far as like overall the archangels really got me. Um, in the second one, oh, this is causing me so much pain because I am a Comlanot simp. Uh, but the Ealdenarsh fight at the very end was brilliant. I think that was the coolest thing that they have done in Dawn Trail yet, and I stand by that. I stand by that so hard. God, that was good.
See, I thought that was good, but I can't say it's my favorite fight in the whole of Dawn Trail so far because I'm gonna have to say that's actually Ultimate and Omega for me. I wish. Okay, I
So good
would have.
too.
I
I
would have
got baited
changed
there
it.
though.
I would have changed it a little bit because I would have liked us to jump between the airships a little bit more than just what was it twice. I would have liked that a
I
little bit more. And I
I got
also cried when I got to that fight because I remember being stuck on that airship for like 2.5 months in 11 back in the day.
I need things. So I live streamed my real time reaction to
Yeah.
that raid, right? The
Yeah, I think I had to
way that
shout out.
I got so excited and then got my hopes crushed at the start of the airship fight because we spawned in. I knew exactly where we were going. I knew that we were going to see Ultima and Omega because they were in the patch notes at that morning, and I was like, yes, finally, I know who summons the both of and in which context it is. And the in-game voiced dialogue is about, damn, I wonder who summoned them. I wonder why they're here. What's the purpose? And I thought to myself, wow, I'm actually gonna get it. All of my begging and crying on my hands and knees to Square Enix. My man Nag Malata is going to be in this alliance raid, and then he wasn't. So the fight was great, but I got viscerally angry at the fact that my favorite character was baited at me, and then they didn't let me have him. Uh, I was like,
A little bit
I was
teasing.
I was crying. Like I was outright sobbing. Uh I've never been so thoroughly cucked in my life, but truly that's the only word for it. I hold out hope for the last alliance raid. Dwindling hope, but it's there nonetheless. Because that's my one goal in life is to have Nagmalata not be forgotten. And if they put him in 14, everyone will know him for the rest of time. I will have done my job. But dear God, my obsession runs a little bit too deep with that man in particular.
You see, I panicked a little bit for a different reason than you. I didn't sob, but I panicked because I'm like, I was like, I forgot the fact I really didn't read the patch notes. I didn't really want to be spoiled too much. I knew Omega and that were going to be in it with trailers and stuff like that. Except I did. So I'm like, I got there for the first time, I'm on stream going, please don't be the triplet. Please don't be the triplet. Please don't be the triplets.
Oh man, that occurred to me once the fight started, because you know who else shows up in that context?
Tenzin.
My mortal fucking enemy, Tenzin. Fucking Tenzin. Oh my, sorry.
Oh, Tenzin,
I'm
sheathe your
swearing
blade,
and
I
I'm
beg of you.
angry.
Sheathe your sword, I beg of you.
God, I wish he would. Honestly, you know what? I respected him slightly by the end of 11 because for some reason, his existence means that we have a Roja. And so I have to forgive him his crimes. I started projecting them onto Arciella at some point, because she also has the unforgivable sin of being poorly written relative to every other character in the game, and I don't know why. But you know what? I didn't get Nagmalata, but I'm also thankful that we didn't get Tenzin, and I hope it stays that way.
Tenzin, I was stuck on that mammoth fight for, as I said, I was on that mammoth fight for months. I could not beat it at all. It was frustrating on the airship.
We'll be upset and elated to know that you don't have to skip the cutscene successfully through that boss gauntlet anymore.
It was, oh my god, it was so frustrating. I thought it was just because I was a monk, I was a Taru paladin at the time. Like, I know that I'm squishy, but yeah, it was just like, oh, well, not squishy, but like compared to other paladins, like my HP is a lot lower. It was such a frustrating experience. Like, people were like, I'm so happy Fantasy 14 story is nowhere as difficult as 11 story, because I can't imagine how frustrated people would be if they can't beat. I mean, patch content would last forever, but I'd be so frustrated. People would be so frustrated if some of the fights were like it was back in 11. Like, yeah, I think it was Bahamut. We had to go through. You had to sneak through the area, right, all the way to the Bahamut fight.
Yep.
And you had to get specific items. Yeah, I know, because I remember I joined the party. I got all the way to the area to fight it, right? Got all the way there, and they said, "Oh, you're a Taru tank. I'm sorry, we're not going to allow you to join us," and then kicked me when I got there. I was in chat like, I've been here for 40 minutes. We've been going through this for 40 minutes. As soon as I get there, you kick me. I was there with you this entire time. Why didn't you? It was funny. I told some friends, and they're like, "Oh, we'll come help you." And their group wiped, and we cleared it first time. So, screw you.
Revenge.
Yeah. We had to sit outside and res the entire group because they all died. And they're like, ah.
I wouldn't
Anyway.
have res them. I would have let them suffer. I'd have like, how you fucking walk yourself back, bit.
Nah, but then that's kind of me.
Oh, no. Oh, so kicking you not very me. Oh, but I think I lose a little bit of mini XP. Oh, I feel me. No, they're bitches. Like, goddamn.
Oh, you know what? They learned something from that.
Yeah, don't piss off a lot.
Taru, thank you very much.
Yeah. I had a lot of but okay, let's move on to some of the main topics I did put down. So yeah, I know I said what your favorite is, but what were in the newest raid that came out recently? Well, I say newest, but like it's been a while. But and sorry, it's been so long since we had you on. But what were your thoughts on Sandoria overall?
I mean, I loved it. So much of Alliance Love Letter, FF11 Unity, and New One is just the same. It does suffer from the same issue that I think a lot of second Alliance raids suffer from, which is that the boss health go down a little bit too fast. For my liking, I want to see more mechanics. Kieran being a good example, like only getting one summon out of them per run of the entire Alliance raid. They're cool. I love the mechanics. I wish that it didn't take me times running in the same day, the day that the patch dropped to print summon. I'm glad they put them all in there, but I wish we had more. Other than that, I was happy to be there. I was having a grand old time. I was stoked. The voice acting, I'm glad they made a voice act the Alliance raids. If anyone knows, not please call me. This is pure selfish. Don't ask any further questions. Listen, I have a brand to maintain. I am a villain enjoyer, and Zelardian brothers, Kamlanot and Aeldenarsh, are so iconic. I think that they did a fantastic job handling all of that. I did notice that everybody got custom models for FF14 except Kamlanot. They ported his Mosidia appearance. I'm like, I wish that we had gotten him looking less smooth I don't like his jawline in that Dissidia appearance. I would have loved him in like the attire and then having him armed like he does. I think that would have had more impact. I understand why they did, because the premise of the Alliance, hey, here's iconic bosses that were just kind of pulling, good luck, test your metal. I was stoked that we got them at all, let alone as back-to-back boss fights. The voice acting was phenomenal, not just for the voice acting, of also the lines that they had. I loved Eldonarsh being self-aware. That was a touch that I didn't know that I needed, but I'm really, really glad they put in there, because if anyone was going to be self-aware about this, it would be Eldonarsh. And I love that. It was good. And that transition into Alteo, chef's kiss. I'm a fan. I was so happy to be there. Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
that's
like,
his,
like all the cards. That's really
so
cool.
that's called a Levitus. That is actually a mount that they relatively recently added in FF11 as well, and you have to like go into secret caves that don't exist on the game
Secret
map,
tunnels?
and and do a whole bunch of like science
Oh.
involving like computer chips and donating credit to get it. But you can ride around in that in FF11. I would love if they put that in FF14 too. Hello.
That would be sick. Like, we need like a fucking quest line like that.
Yeah, like an offshoot, like, oh, you finished the Alliance raids, and then at some point in 7.55, or they're like, hey, here's a random side quest if you finish the Alliance raid. Go pick up a mount.
Because you know how maps are. Like, I want more
Yeah.
stuff in the open world that requires you to actually use your brains and actually use like the story. Like, say like someone says, "Oh, there's like some ancient treasure in like this," but he was like predicting like a small thing. If you get a side quest for it, and then like start trying to like
Yeah.
figure it out yourself, and like
And
it
those
won't
side
show you where it is.
Those
But, yeah,
side
just-
quests that they've experimenting with that have you like going around, like I think there's an N1 quest when you get figured out. I would
Yeah.
love more of that. That'd be
Like,
awesome.
more of that, and then obviously you doing this like long like train obviously will give you something at the end of it. It will give you like a really cool mount or something like that, or like a cool glamour that no one else gets, and you can like instead of just here's a deep dungeon, here's this. Yeah, it's cool 'cause it's doing content. But I want more like outworld stuff, not instant stuff. Outworld stuff. Use these really cool areas and put in more lore with Final Fantasy 14. Like, that's what I want personally. They probably won't do that because most people are a very small majority and they just won't listen to us about that stuff. But it is how it is. So
I
but
agree.
yeah,
It's a
no,
shame
I
because
want these now.
they add all these areas with the expansion. Like every expansion has what 4 or 5 new zones, and the issue is you level through them, you do the MSQ technically through them as well, and really you don't really use them again. That like you might go to certain areas on the map, but you don't explore them as much as consider how
Yeah,
beautiful and how big they are.
With
We need
the
more
tribe.
incentive to be in the overworld post completing quests, because side quests are good and all, but I'm also a monster who and does those in the span of the first week and then they're done, right?
I
So,
use them to level up other classes because I don't like dungeon spamming that much because I get very tired and bored of it. It just
yeah.
makes me annoyed. So I like going out and like I learned so much about this recent like expansion because of all the really cool side quests there was. And I was like, oh, this is really fun actually doing this and helping. It's like opening my eyes up like, oh, it's a really cool land. Like, but after I've done that, there is no hesitance for me doing anything. I go to these lands and I pick out their harvest because I want to craft. That's it. Or they've got the tribes there and we do their quests and stuff like that, and then that's it.
Incentives, but I agree that there should be more like exploration stuff. I think that would be
Yeah, I think there should be some sense of because I thought in this expansion, because it was very Caribbean like Aztec-y, I thought there would be like more mystery, more like, oh, there's some cool, but no, there weren't. I thought maybe there'd be some cool like mission where it's like a treasure map or something on like a. It's kind of disappointed me. In a sense, it hasn't disappointed me where there's content to do because there's a fucking shit ton of content to do. There's content for ages. Like, you won't get bored. It's just there's grinds and stuff like that. Like, there's stuff like that, but there's nothing to do in the overworld. And I like the places in the overworld that there is. Like right now, I loved all different types of the overworld. I even liked the cold places of the Empire because it was cool. But they kind of just like they used it and then got rid of it. Well, not got rid of it. It's there, but it doesn't really give you anything to do.
Yeah, I think it's something that like vertical scaled MMOs tend to suffer from a lot, is because so much on inboard based stuff, there's less incentive for game dev to to look at the actual itself.
I've got to give
Wow.
credit to, well, I'm not talking about WoW, but I've got to give credit to Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know if you have any experience with Elder Scrolls Online. Oh,
A little, yeah, a little.
well, the main thing I want to talk about the fact that the expansions scale to your level. So even if you're new to the game, you can go to like the newest areas at the low level, and the enemies for you will be that level, and you can quest with your friends. Like, I don't know how they would exactly do that in 14 because it's so story based, but like, I don't know, something like that would be interesting to implement if possible. To
I
make
agree, and I think that's something they're going to have to look at soon anyway, because they have hit level 100, which is like the historical level cap for
Yeah.
Final
The
Fantasy
OCP
game.
didn't even want 100. You know that, right?
Yep, I'm aware, but
He
it's
wanted
this is
99, didn't
how
he?
it ended up working. Yeah, but it's this is how it works when you set up a vertical kind of gearing system. So next expansion, they are definitely going to have the place to kind of experiment and expand on it. So I hope that this is one of the avenues that they.
You know, I'm not exactly overwhelmed, but this is something I wanted. As a Final Fantasy 11 player, one of my favorite things to do was Besiege. And I think I talked to you before, but one of my,
Yeah.
what I was really hoping was, I was hoping Stormblood, that the Guardians would attack the Resistance base and we'd have to defend it occasionally. When they said like, oh, there's a Resistance base, and I'm like, oh my God, are we going to have Besiege? I don't think Besiege would work still, but like,
I mean, it would
be fun
in terms
to
of the fight
engage
system.
attacks as
You
long as
could
it quest lock the way that Besieged actually does.
But can you actually have that done with fates? Because some fates have like, oh, you know, like there's a fate in the deserts that the worms are attacking the.
It's a very similar
You know.
system. Yeah, it would just be a
Yeah.
city state instead.
Yeah, it would, like you could have it like that. But again, touching on Elder Scrolls had a really unique system where it would unlock stuff with all these different side quests. Like their side quest was so in depth of telling a different type of story in the areas that when you completed it, you actually got really cool customization, sometimes a mount, sometimes a pet. Like I played it for a while and I loved it. I loved it on stream and stuff like that. It was just because it was so story driven. What Final Fantasy is, but it's only main story driven. Some side quests do have like kind of, oh yeah, it's good, but most of the side quests in the actual overworld and stuff like that now, the only thing they give you is just like these gear coffers. There is no and you get these special off ones that give you minions and stuff like that. But some like I think one of them you had to do to unlock. I think it was to unlock a beast tribe or a tribe in some state. You had to do a quest chain for it.
You have to
'Cause
do that
then-
for all of them. It's the quests in the region that.
Paul McLeod says M is a bit quiet, so if you want to bump them up a little bit.
Oh, that's gross.
Thank you, McLeod. They should be okay on the podcast, but I bumped you up a little bit. Actually, that's probably too. Maybe I
Oh,
should
no.
test it before you talk. I was like, I'll
boy.
bump you up to 150. I jumped up 20 points. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should incrementally increase your voice, but you should be okay.
Oh no!
Oh my fucking god!
What have you done, Paul?
I'm a fucking idiot. They
No,
haven't been able to fucking hear you the entire time.
Oh my god!
I'm good at this.
Oh, well, if anyone that's not been listening, because you can't, don't worry, go download the podcast on Podbean and Spotify because the voices are there. I hope.
Yeah,
Please be there.
that was my bad.
Now I'm scared.
I was talking about stuff, so I've just been sitting there talking to myself.
I distracted him by
ideally.
talking about Warhammer before stream. I apologize.
Like I got all the topics and stuff like that, but I completely forgot to put the actual sound in for Discord. So it's just been me sitting here, and like every now and then they would hear like me like
Oh my god.
cleaning my brush.
Well,
So
if you want the whole conversation, make sure to download the
I will-
podcast over on Podbean and Spotify because it exists. It
I
does it.
blame our mods for not being here to see this earlier.
The whole
How
two
dare
of
they?
us.
I hold them responsible.
I mean, you're one of the mods, Paul, so you can blame.
How are you?
Oh yeah, let
blame
me
you,
just have
George.
the audio on so I can double.
Double audio.
You know what? Next time I'm going to do that.
I blame them.
I'm sorry about this, Em. I really am.
Look at
and
me,
anyone
I'm
in
not
Twitch.
I'm not the one doing any sort of production here.
I got here
I'm just
late.
here
I
to
was
talk
working on
about
a commission. At least I
episode
told you, Paul. Anyway, thank you for. I'm sorry. Thank you, McLeod. I'm very sorry for everyone that's listening on Twitch. Okay, well, you know what? You know, Em. At least they didn't hear that. And what you're getting with the favorites of the raid. So you know we.
No.
They've lost an hour's worth of content, but it's okay. Ah.
It's fine. It's fine. What else did you want to talk about the alliance raids?
Well, as we've had Sandoria and we've had Juno, what would you like to see for the next raid, if possible? Before I get your opinion, I myself, this is the only reason why I'm a little bit frustrated at Altair, aka C, being used, is because I really wish we could see Promathia in full, beautiful graphics, because that zone, that area, that
Well,
that fight was beautiful.
here's the thing: is you don't technically fight Promathia on Altair.
That is
You
true.
fight
You
him
fight him
in
in
this.
space.
Yeah,
Basically.
kind of. You fight him in this like pocket dimension where you look down and see all of Vana'diel below. Um, I want that arena. So I was thrilled that we got Altair at all because it was either there or not at all, I think. So I was happy about it.
Fair. But I was hoping it would lead into it. If you understand what I mean, like I was hoping that the
Yeah,
LTR would
like
lead
that walk
into.
up.
Yeah, that was my hope. Like, and maybe have the goldfish that I got that scared me the first time I ever went there. Because
Oh my
there's
god, the optional ads that either
Yeah.
come from below or descend from on high.
that's the UFO and sharks, right? I don't know what the actual
Yep.
names are. Yeah, the
So-
which number is UFOs and sharks?
I don't think that was going to be likely anyway, specifically because we get them in Eureka as notorious monsters or ads there, and I think that they are trying to be a little unique with these alliance raids, which I do appreciate. But that is also one of those reasons. It was either going to be a non-combat zone or a boss arena, and I'm
no.
glad that we got it at some sort of that.
When I say goldfish, I mean the ones that like don't attack you. They aggro you, but don't actually attack. Because that was
Right.
that confused me the first time I went there. Like I attacked them thinking, oh my god, they're chasing me. And then found out like, oh no, they come up to you, sniff you, and then
follow you.
swim away.
Yeah.
At the time I wasn't used to that. Like I think there's a couple of Mandragoras later on that do that, right? But like at the time, I think that was one of the first times I experienced something like that in a game. Like aggro but not aggro. Also, Rini says, "Get back here." Oh, I don't know if you've run away because I'm sorry if it felt like I was being mean.
No, I'm not sure why Rennie's saying that, but you're totally good. Oh,
Anyway,
Paul is gone.
Yeah, Paul has disappeared.
Where has Paul gone?
Well, I guess we had an hour of Paul and now it's an hour of I don't know. Anyway, your thoughts on the next raid?
Ooh, God, that's tough. I would be surprised if we don't start in another one of like the main region cities. So it could be Bastock or Windhurst. It could be Whitegate. It could be Adeline. I'm sure I'm missing at least one or two things here. I feel like we'll get at least an ad pack in Race and Jima from Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. I would be very surprised about if we didn't. As far as bosses that I think we'll see, the dialogue at the end of the cutscenes for the second race are Jesus, I'm still thinking about the Savage race upcoming. The second Alliance raid, sorry, was specifically in the context of us facing down gods, which doesn't mean much in FF14 because we've never actually fought a real god. We've just fought icons. But in FF11, the word god means very, very specific enemies. So our options are essentially Promathia in one of his many versions, Altana, Lilith to a certain extent, Odin, and Chaos. I don't think that they'll put Chaos in there because I think that that's too much of a deep cut for Voracious Resurgence. It's the same reason that I don't think we're going to get Rakaznar or Prometheans. Yeah, you're all right?
We must kill Chaos.
No. Don't. Another one will take its place.
By the way, I really want to do another replay of Strains of Paradise, but with next time. I did it a solo playthrough in the past. In fact, that's where my first PNG2 avatar, like, that's where I showed it off for the first time, was actually Strangers of Paradise. Is weird, but so I really want to do a replay of Strangers, because I never did the DLC.
I would love to play it. The gameplay was just so boring, so I haven't.
I really loved
story missions, and I wanted to enjoy the story more. And the gameplay was fine, but it got to like a certain point, 2 hours in, where it was like, "Hey, you need to grind everything," and I was like, "Oh, I'm bored now." And then I like didn't pick it up again because it was way too much mission repeat. I don't do the mission read thing. That's not fun gameplay to me.
that's where we're different. Like that's my gameplay. Like if I can find somewhere where I'm running around in a circle and grinding, that's will find me in that circle. I will run that circle for hours. Like especially now that I've got a second monitor, I will have a Twitch stream up. I would be watching someone and I'll be running in a circle. But like I'll be a marathon runner for the next 5 hours. That circle is gonna go down to the center of the earth because I've run around it so many times, I've dug up the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just not me. So I would love to enjoy the story for it. But regardless, in the context of 11, I have like a list of things where like, hey, they could do this. I don't think it would be good content though. For the same reason that I don't think we'll see Bahamut in the Alliance raids because he's so pivotal to FF14 already. Odin is also kind of in that category, but I think they have enough leeway to make Odin work, especially because he is kind of like the entity in 11. But Bahamut, I think it would be a little bit too much of a rehash. Same thing with Hades. As important as he is narratively, as like what could probably take Altana in a fight and Fivana deal from her, I don't think that it's likely that we'll see. But fighting Promathia, at this point, that's got to be a given. And that's an excuse for them to bring my boy Nagmalata in, please. I also have a bone to pick with Altana. I would love an excuse to fight Altana. I think that would be fun. Lilith, I don't know if they'll bring her in. We'll see. I'd love to see her glamour. I think that would be a good time at least.
See, I've not had any real experience with anything above Treasures of Ogun because that's when my account got banned.
Oh, okay.
So I actually never finished Treasures. So anything past Treasures, like I had a little bit of experience with Wings of the Goddess, but that's I finished Treasures and I had a little bit of experience with Wings, but no, I got into Wings later, but not on the original account because my account got banned for the reasons I told you that were stupid. Like,
so we did get a bit of Wings already in the first Alliance raid during the Shadow Lord fight, because the premise of Wings of the Goddess is you're kind of going back in time to the crystal. And when the Shadow Lord's arena changes, you see a whole bunch of snow and burned down buildings outside, instead of being inside of his throne room, and then it transitions and you're back in the room, right? That is actually an area during Wings of the Goddess, which is when you see him with his armor for the first time instead of like nakedly arising from his coffin.
He was already naked before for me.
Yeah,
like,
it's the little details that they've put in the Alliance raids, like that subtly, like flashes of arena changes. It's a masterpiece. I'm obsessed with it. Truly, I am.
If anyone wants context on why my Final Fantasy 11 account got banned, I logged in from someone else's PC. And when I logged in from someone else's PC, they automatically banned it because they thought I got hacked. So they banned my account to make sure that that it was safe, and then refused to give me it back. So technically, not really a ban, but they're like, oh yeah, your account was locked for security reasons. Please contact us and we'll give you it back. The issue was the email that was linked to my account at the time that didn't exist anymore. So I had no way to email them back. So yeah, thanks, Square, for protecting my account from me. That was very. I mean, it was nice. They triggered and they were worried about it, but it was thanks, Square. This is why. By the way, this is why you should always have the one-time password on your account, because that's a good way to trigger it from Brightly. I hadn't got the one-time password software token at the time, so that's why my account got it. So there you go, everyone. Make sure you use your one-time password if possible. Sorry, stop it there.
What is the one-time password thing? Because I don't use that because my account's locked to Steam.
Ah, fair.
It's just a multi-factor authentication. Also, Paul, you're gone from the stream. You don't seem to.
Well, he wasn't talking. He muted himself. So.
Oh, does that also hide his avatar?
Okay, you were gone on the. You disappeared on the stream, Paul. Where did you go? Does it?
Gaston. That's good.
Keep sending Paul to the void. Paul, you there?
I'm
here. Your avatar's gone now.
I know.
You sure? Is everything okay?
I'll get it back when I become a better YouTube thingy. So don't worry. Carry on.
Okay, sure. Moving on, I guess. Okay. Now we've had the raids and we've had other Final Fantasy 11 stuff that's inspired with the game. Do you feel like we should get an expansion that's not? I don't want to say dedicated to Final Fantasy 11 because I personally am getting frustrated with expansions that are kind of not exactly dedicated, but are very like a bit too on the nose in places for me. I don't mind references, but like, would you like a Final Fantasy 11 style inspired expansion? And
So here's the thing: Dawn Trail exists. That's about what I have to say on that, because so many of, like, I've made this comparison publicly before, but you can one for one overlay a lot of the dialogue that Sveen has with the dialogue that A.L. Denarsh has spouted over his time in Rise of the Zealot. So much of Dawn Trail feels like Rise of the Zealot, down to talking about the Gate of the Gods, which involved your soul leaving your body and existing as its own thing, but that wasn't really life, culminating in creating an entity that is related to that sort of particular despair that comes of it. Granted, that was Necron, but that is another tie in, right? Dawn Trail in and of itself is also the Mamulja expansion featuring Galulja Ja and Bakulja Ja, which are also FF11 characters directly from Treasures of Etergon, which, when it was released, was the first expansion after the full first arc of a game. It was supposed to be the vacation expansion, and it ended up being the most emotionally devastating thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. Uh, it's really hard to say, like, yeah, I'd love an FF11 dedicated expansion, because to me, FF14 doesn't exist without 11 anymore. And this goes all the way back to Answers being an answer to Distant Worlds, to Bahamut being the thing that resets the world. I would argue that FF14's whole existence is an FF11 expansion. Uh, More likely, I think, is that we get an FF14 inspired expansion in 11. And I know that that's wishful thinking, but player counts are at an all-time high at this point, and there is overwhelming player support for more story going forward in that game. So I hope that this road kind of flows both ways, because I think that's going to be the more beneficial for it at this point.
fair. As I said, I like these expansions being inspired, but like some of the stuff in Dawn Trail and of course at the end of the last expansion got a little too close to the original plot for me. But
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, like, you could clearly tell that all of the FF4 stuff was meant to be a trial series, and that they turned it into MSQ for the patch content, which I also didn't enjoy that much. I didn't hate it, but it was a
I
little
will,
bit like, okay, this should have been a trial series.
yeah.
Why are we spending this much time on it, you know?
Yeah, as I've said in the past, like I feel like if this had been the trial series, it would have been one of the best trial series, just because there was enough effort put into it for it to be better than a lot of the previous trial series, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
and it was
it
like, it
also
would have been
did,
such a nice wrap up for that, but it didn't answer the questions that we wanted, and it didn't wrap up
yeah.
story things. It just introduced new ones in an isolated circumstance. It should have been a trial series.
I
So
100% agree.
I was trying to fix my stuff because my PC was starting to die a little bit.
Oh no.
Okay, well, welcome
So
back.
Welcome back.
my PNG thing just stopped working, and I was trying to reset it, and it's not responded. So yeah,
Tech Issues, the
what was that?
podcast, isn't that? That's the streams for you, right? You can test and
I mean,
practice
yeah,
as much as you want. The moment you hit that stream live go button, everything dies.
yeah, but you know, at least we have a podcast, so it's kind of like pretty nice. But I've got everything kind of sorted with. So you guys talking about was it the Zero series?
Yeah, the FF4 stuff.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Because
I did not. I was not a big fan of it. As you
Really?
said, that it should have been a trial series and not the main story.
Yeah, I think it got drawn out a little bit too far. Like, I didn't hate it, but I definitely think that it should have been an isolated thing so that they could wrap up actual story stuff instead of having like a stopgap, you know? But at this point, it is what it is. But to go back to the question of would I love in like FF11 directly inspired expansion, I don't know how they can do that in a way that they haven't already, because most of Shadowbringers was built on the back of FF11 as well already. I think the only one I can't point directly to FF11 having like one for one parallels is Stormblood, because Stormblood was so much more about building out the lore of the world of Eorzea, right? And even then, I can't say, hey, this is a standalone thing, because Shinryu is featured as a central icon of the world ending again, which is a very FF11 thing too, in a less direct sense, but that's about as unsubtle as they've gotten. Because I don't know how you're gonna go from Hades in both games having a one for one screenshot parallel of the whole gun motif and the reveal and the possession, and that also being where Horshaphant and Zephyrin and the whole Thoradin thing coming from. I don't think that they can do an FF11 Direct expansion without rehashing itself, if that makes sense, because so much of 14 is already built on the best parts of 11. And that's a good thing, mind you. I think that that's a very good thing.
I feel like I would enjoy 11 if I didn't get like stopped by the paywall Savage and installation Savage.
I have a guide for that. I can help you.
I
I can fix that.
I know Billy's been wanting me to play it, and I know we were deciding that maybe like a month we were going to play it together, and like, but yeah,
That's
no,
the way to do it.
yeah, it does seem interesting because I don't play a lot of Final Fantasies to begin with, so
Yeah, you
but
still need to go back and do
enjoyed
10. Yeah, I know you started it, but you did one
Yeah,
part.
I did one part and then got frustrated. Sounds like Final Fantasies in a nutshell. And then so many other new games came out, and I've been like, and then I started doing PvP stuff, and I was
I have linked my installation guide that I update on an annual basis.
It's not, but to be fair, I didn't have too. I've done it too many times now. Like I've installed it again on a new PC, so and I spent time adding the specific things that I need nowadays that I don't really minimap.
Wait, is there no minimap?
No, there's
Nope.
no minimap. You have to go buy your maps.
You were talking about like overworld explanation. FF11 is the definition of raw dogging. Good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun. Don't get lost.
Yeah. And also, if you see a
Or
bunny,
do, honestly.
it can kill you.
Getting lost, that's the best part of games, right?
Paul, I have
lost sounds
great
like
news
random.
for you about Final Fantasy XI. Most of this game is getting lost and then
Yeah.
somehow ending up in the right spot eventually.
Yeah, that's how it works. Also, because I played on keyboard and mouse for the first time, because I'd never played keyboard and mouse, I still remember. I loaded up 11, and I'm in Windurst, and I didn't look at I should have just looked at the controls. I'm so dumb. I was such a dumb kid. The first thing I did was I loaded into the game, and I couldn't work out how to move, and I shouted out, "How do I move?"
Oh no.
Like, luckily someone actually said "wazzed," but like, I had no idea about PC gaming at the time. Like,
No, I say Control Alt Delete. I'm being completely honest.
Oh no.
The good troll, how life usually is.
Well, by the way, I got
dead
my
silent.
commission for the Halloween outfit. I really want to. I'm having to behave because I really don't want to show Halloween. But Rinny is an insane artist. Seriously, Rinny is amazing. I can't show enough love to Rinny for all the art she does for the channel. Seriously. And I know we're running out of time, so I'll ask one last question before we run out. With Fantasy 14 Gen Beastmaster, what would you like to see it play a lot like Fantasy 11, or we think it to be more?
Oh, so that's a tough one because I don't actually play Beast. I am a one-trick pony ranger main in FF11. Honestly, I have no idea what to expect from Beastmaster. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be some sort of trying to make this comparison without, drawing potential lawsuits, but catch and release kind of thing, because it can't be like Blue Mage where you kill the thing in order to gain the ability, right? You have to have a mechanism for catching the creature. I would love for that not just to be a, hey, enter combat and throw a net at it when it hits a lower level of HP or something. I would love for maybe the catch abilities to be their own thing where you can like feed the creature, give it some head pats, get it to like you, and then once you get a certain affinity level with the species, you'll be able to catch one. So I would love for it to be a system more like that as opposed to, hey, enter combat, commit murder, good luck.
Well, in 11, should we say, in 11's Beastmaster, you could either charm the enemy, which you got them lowish on health, and then use the charm ability, and then you had them for a specific amount of time while in that zone. And then if you didn't have enough charisma, they would actually uncharm and attack you. Or depending on if it was a sentient enemy, so like skeleton, charm would actually just bind them so they wouldn't attack you. Or you could then have my nose.
You're right.
You could have an alchemist craft jugs, and then those jugs could then be used to summon specific creatures. For example, the most popular one, of course, was Courier Crab, because Courier Crab, for some reason, scaled better than every other jug pet in the game. So, and it was very defensive because it had stone skin and a defensive two defensive moves. So, but yeah, so yeah, it had like, I'm gonna butcher it wrong, phalanx and stone skin. So it had two different defensive moves that you could use. So in some ways, what you're talking about kind of makes me think of like the jug pets version, but
Yeah,
beating them up
and
first rather than crafting them.
I'm also thinking about like the way that FF14 plays, what would make sense as far as translating it across titles and what would. The idea that one of your pets could disobey during combat, I think would be fun. But as far as it being like I don't want to say temporary because that's not really right. As far as it going like, oh, it's a charm and then it'll wear off, I don't think the premise for that will work. On 14 players because so much of this is like a collection aspect. And we are in a different era of gaming where we collect pets because we want to give them head pats and take care of them.
Well,
You
not
don't
just
want it
that,
to be a
but
thing where they like turn on you, right? It's you get attached. There's a different kind of sentiment involved, not just with higher graphics, but also the way that we play 14 versus 11. So some sort of collection system, I think, must. And then your rotation can be like, oh, I will have only 5 pets available this combat in. And these are the ones I'm picking, and they have their abilities.
that's what I'm going to bring up is.
I
Sorry.
kind of have idea of how we could do that in 14. You know, the Monster Hunter type thing, like following tracks and stuff, and then try learning stuff about the monsters and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
When we can put also the crafters or gatherers in order and grab, oh, what kind of food do they like? Let me go gather some food and then place it for where they could spawn in the overworld. Again, overworld stuff. Thank God. This would be very cool.
I like
And then
that.
have like tracks and like place food down, like learn about them, and then obviously put that the affiliation level of like your learning level of that, and then see, okay, now can I try and like tame one or stuff like that, and then cause you could kind of do it like that. Obviously, we could put them in jugs, which is kind of weird, like Master Roshi type thing. But yeah, no, I think that could be pretty cool. So you can bring gatherers in, crafters, fisher. Like, oh, this sort of person likes fish. Okay, well,
The
you know,
overworld engagement is a really good idea.
yeah, and have like obviously like a book saying, oh, okay, you know so far of this, and like have like stuff like scribbled out until you learn about them. Don't know how you would learn about them. Being just seeing them in overworld or killing them, which would be kind of beats the premise of it. But kind of maybe like learn stuff like that, maybe. But again,
Yeah, knowledge base. I like that because then even after you catch your critter, you more about them, and that will like up affinity and stuff. Maybe something are only available if you keep studying after catching. I think that
yeah.
that's a really good idea. Yeah.
Because we kind of had that system in the animal sanctuary or the island sanctuary, where not learning that, but you can obviously get some of them and then put them into your things, and I would say learn stuff about them, but get like wool and all that stuff out of them, or other like drops. We could learn more about that, and then maybe even again, we're going off the premise is that we don't really want to conflict with Pokemon, in a sense of how that is, but having say, oh, this one has a higher stat of like defense, and you can kind of see it's like, okay, this one it's not that high, but then I captured another one and it says, oh, this has got a lot more while you're still learning about them. It could be interesting in the fact. It could be quite interesting to do that, but I don't know how Square Enix right now, so I think it would be cool
Find out
though.
eventually, I suppose.
Eventually, because we're going to have like nearly a whole year of playing it, so until the new expansion, so we'll see. So I'm quite interested about it because if giving this like, because you know how we have the all the collection books telling us lore and stuff like that. The can't remember what it's called now. I used to get it for doing like the relics and stuff, where it says like lore about stuff, getting cards and stuff like that. Where we
Oh,
have a
field
book
notes?
like that, yeah, field notes, a little bit
Yeah.
like that, but like telling us, oh, they are habitated in these places. They have like a second cousin in that same kind of thing. I think it'd be pretty cool.
I like that.
And I reckon there should be one where it's going to be the demon fat cat or something, where we find out the pure lore of it being undead and stuff. Yeah, cool. But yeah, I'm interested in how they like fit into that and try and make content for it. We have like the Elite Four, like it's gonna be like Rin, like no, not Rin, Reen and stuff. We go to face. Oh, funny. Face your Stola and her little chipmunk. Or is that Thancred's? Thancred's weird chipmunk. I can't remember that. But yeah, before I cut off Chili, did you have anything to say, or is your nose okay?
Yeah, but nose is okay now. I say that.
Say that it has now begun.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as we start wrapping this up, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Sorry again for any technical issues, and sorry for anyone on the stream for any technical issues that happened during the podcast today. We are trying to improve, and I'm sorry for any problems and cause. Remember, It should all be fine on Podbean. So if you're listening on Podbean and Spotify, leave a comment down below. So before we end this, how can they find you? And is there anything you want to promote?
Yeah, sure. I am at MNR. I'm on literally every platform except Facebook. How much I use social media these days is a little bit down the drain. If you find me on Twitch, I do raid with my friends a lot, hoping to stream at Lore Talks. Fruity Snacks and I will be doing a live stream of our Weird But True Fish Lore panel. Some point soon. We've brought it to a few cons, but if you're interested in hearing us do that live in an accessible way, we're going to be live streaming that. Please follow Fruity Snacks for that on any platform. It could also be Fruity. We'll be doing chat interaction while we talk about fish lore and the implications. That'll also be available at a later time. Otherwise, I'm kind of just chilling for the rest of the year. Got a little bit of a break in my convention season, so I will be playing games, posting cosplay, and just vibing. And feel free to message me about FF11 at any time.
Well, seriously, thank
Yeah.
you for joining us. And hopefully, when 7.5 drops, we can have you on again to talk about the next Alliance raid, if that would be.
Yes. Hopefully, I get to talk about Nagmalata, my boy, my beautiful, beautiful boy. Square, if you're listening to this right now, please. The game will do literally anything. I'm not lying.
I'll do anything, please.
I'm so desperate for that, man. You don't understand.
Well, I hope you get him. And
Thank
I
you.
hope I get the Promathia. That's what I'm hoping.
Yep. Hey, you know what? We can technically get both in the same fight. So I will pray for that.
Hashtag pray.
Okay, if we get
Pray for
both,
that
we need to do a collab stream. Okay, that happens. I'm sorry. So yeah, Paul, what want to say before we wrap up?
I am very sorry about what happened in the first half of the podcast. It does seem that my brain, being that I am on drugs currently, helpful drugs, not bad drugs. These are good drugs that help me through pain. That I completely forgot to put the Discord audio through Discord, so it was just me sitting here talking. So I'm sorry about anyone that was on that, and I'm sorry about all my stuff kind of breaking. Because I haven't turned my PC off in a while, and I see there is a freaking Windows update sitting there. But other than that, yeah, I will be around this weekend. I had to sit there and think for a second, playing Final Fantasy 14. Raiding, doing PvP and stuff like that. What else? Is there
Will there
anything
be
else I
Fantasy
need
10?
to... Probably not, because
No.
I really want to focus on PvPing.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be doing a bunch of like casual games, probably on EU and NA, if anyone wants to come into that. Also on the 30th, me and Chili will be co-hosting the Community Roulette over on Johnny's Dead's channel, and we will be doing all the Shoutcast stuff, which is going to be a lot of fun.
And I'm gonna.
So, yeah.
That's when I'll showcase my new outfit. It's amazing, Paul. It's
I know,
adorable.
really has shown me some sketches. I haven't shown him the full thing, but she showed me a sketch.
I'll show you the full
And thank
thing.
you, thank you to Em for coming on and being really, really cool and liking some Sanguinius, some Blood Angels. Great, it's great to see. I wish Sanguinius. Sad.
No, leave him dead.
Leave
Let
him
him
dead.
rest. Let him rest. No, this is where we pick a fight. I wanna see
What about
blood if we
Dante?
can-
What about
Don't do
Dante?
this to me right now. Don't do this to me right now.
Is Dante not allowed to rest?
No,
No.
not if it comes to the cost of Sanguinius's rest. Let him have his fucking
Take
peace.
turns.
Sorry.
Take turns.
You say
Yeah, thank you
Dante,
for
my
everyone.
brain automatically just goes to Devil May Cry every time. I know there's other
Me
Dantes.
too, kind of, but yeah.
That's the only one I know. Like,
Dante's
is Nero
Inferno.
there? Is the Virgil?
No. He's in 14. Remember, he was said.
Oh. We're full back to my wool being called Final Fantasy, and that lead me down the DMC rabbit hole. That's a conversation for another time. I don't disagree.
Also, thank you again for bringing your Final Fantasy 11 knowledge and for actually having someone that Chili can talk to about it again because I've never played the game.
I'm happy
and
to be here.
The only references I get is what Chili has told me about, Dark Knight and Monk fused together. They get really low health and do a bunch of punches. So that's all I remember. But that is it for me. Other than that, I'm just sitting here playing 14 and yeah. Oh, and we did start on Mondays. We did start Road Trader. We started that last Monday, so I'm really excited to play that with my friend Nikki and friends over there. So look out for that. And other than that, next podcast, I will remember to do fucking audio. I turned everyone down and got everyone. That's what I thought when I saw KK put, Amy's quite low, I'm like, oh, let me just turn them up. And then I went, wait a minute, looked into my Streamlabs and there was no order besides me. But yeah, so Chili, what can people expect from you?
Okay, so Topo is going to be dropping in Gekishin Squadron next week, so there's going to be a Gekishin Squadron probably stream on Wednesday. Apart from that, we'll be doing more Deep Dungeon on Tuesday. We actually beat the 10 boss solo, so I actually did that first try. Well, I say first try at the right at Aether level. So yeah, we did that actually. Thank you to the chat for cheering me on, and thank you to Judgment for the advice on that fight. I'm clearly the Fae King in Deep Dungeon right now because the game likes to give me Faes. The same Fae, by the way. I don't get any other. I seem to get the same one, but I mostly get the same one. But still, we'll be doing more Deep Dungeon. I'm hoping we jump back into Baldur's Gate soon because I do miss it. Apart from that, a big shout out to everyone that listens. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all for coming to the channel. Thank you for the follows before we end live from M's community. Seriously, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode of the podcast where we'll be talking about the live letter because obviously it'd be a bit weird if we didn't. So I'm excited for 7.4. For once, I'm actually excited for the story. And well, I'm more excited for the story. Like, I'm always excited for the story, but like,
But this is for the story to go into the next expansion. Yeah, so it's kind of like more like, okay, we get to get some juicy.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm default always excited for story, but it's only like at the start of the heading towards the new expansion I get really excited for patch story because, like, I know that sounds weird. Like, I like the patch story, but it's not. It's once we start getting new stuff that I get like, oh, what, you know, mystery.
Oh, where are we going?
So yeah, so I get a little bit more excited for that.
Podcast.
So yeah, let's see what's going on with that. Thank you all. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Enjoyed the audio, not video. Enjoyed the audio, leave a like and a comment down on Spotify, Podbean, and all the places to listen to. Remember, you can find us at Moogle and Radio on Twitter and on Blue Sky. And also, remember, you can contact me on MG_Chili on Twitter. Thank you to everyone listening. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you everything. Thank you for the support. Thank you for that wonderful guest. Until next time. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That's really speedy.